just 2 minutes after 2 on the 26th day of August 2026 as we welcome on stream People's Progressive Science, as we stream live on TikTok, People's People's Progressive Science on YouTube. If you are not yet a subscriber, please do so now. Very important. This edition of my live streaming is called Revelation Time, and we'll be looking at some of the things that is revealing. We will join Facebook in a short while. Matter of fact, before we join Facebook, let's listen to the foundation of this live this morning. It's going to be a very touchy one, so prepare. A lot of things will reveal this morning in this live that we call Revelation Time. And this is the basis in which we will listen. So in Jamaica, uno batty boy, we are secret batty man. We are look girl every day. We have all 5 girl. And a man who no love and a batty who no a fuck. Uno, a give the girl them AIDS. And a batty girl them body, you know. The girl them just said they with some man, we are batty man. No. This is a very, very serious situation that is happening in Jamaica. A very serious thing that is happening in Jamaica. And I'm going to take you back. I'm not even play this again. I am going to take you back, way back, to 2021, when 2022 or thereabout, when I start my social media journey. Yes. Yes. Welcome to my viewers on Facebook. Right? I'm going to take you way back to when I started my social media journey. Yes, in 2021. And the trials, the tribulation that I have gone through, because I make the girls my topic. I make the ladies my topic. Right? I make the ladies my VIP. Come on, man. We're not going to hear something this morning. And even if TikTok restrict me, stay tuned with Facebook viewers and my YouTube viewers. I'm going to continue, right? Because when you go down in the truth, what they do with TikTok, they report the live to the automatic thing, the algorithm, and they lock you off. Right? So the message not going out. But I I want to let you know that what it is streaming live on YouTube as well. Right? So it is there forever. Every word I speak here. So even if one platform lock it off, the words is over on the other because this is important message. So let me go back to when I started my social media journey and who old enough and who were here from those times. Remember, I start with the baby mothers on Mother's Day. Right? Right? I had a video that goes viral prior to that time. I think Mother's Day is in May, I believe, or June. About 3 weeks before, I had a video that I said, the famous "I love," yes, and it had go viral in a second. Some say them love Gaza, some say that you don't know the video there, right? And it becomes a tag and a flagship and a space for me. It opened up a space for me right around the globe, right? Yes, it wasn't me who recorded that video, but I'm happy for the introduction. Then, 3 weeks after the two Mother's Day video, if you know you are a mother, stamp your and said blessings. Right? And if you want to be a mother, make sure you activate your vagina 12 o'clock tonight. And those videos, they announce me to the world. Yes? Yes, I want to listen to the reasoning, right? Me no welcome no distractors, right? Because me know what no up to, right? Uno attitude cannot hide again. Uno attitude is just a stalemate. As uno come now, people know uno in a them time there, nobody did know uno. So uno could have easily disguise yourself and report the live and report the videos them to TikTok. Some of them has been taken down, right? Yes, right. Yeah, some of them has been taken down off the platform. Some of them has been shadow banned, right? And it is simply because I was speaking raw truth, right? Raw truth, and I was seeing 5 years down the road. I knew it would have come to this now, right? Uh, Only not see where they yet, I only not see not yet. This is the program tonight named Revelation Time this morning. Yeah, a revelation time. And why it named Revelation Time? Because many of what I said in the past are revealing to people. No, the same one I played at the beginning of this live streaming here, right? Those are some vloggers who never choose to highlight what I am saying, right? Never choose to highlight what I was saying. They thought I was just a floops, a little old man, just looking clout. I never know the benefit that was to be had, right? Right? of of the platform, I absolutely did not know that it was a money venture making thing. I just seized the opportunity to speak the truth, speak my mind, and exactly what I was doing, right? Because let me tell you, I am inspired by the Holy Spirit, not Holy Ghost, the Holy Spirit to speak. And being inspired by the Holy Spirit, it makes me bright, even though when it seems in your eyes that I am a dunce, I am nothing. But the Holy Spirit makes me into a VIP, very important person, right? While you out there looking at me as a little trash, a little comedian, and you try to make the words that I speak looks like nothing, like it is not anything serious I'm talking about. Now, it's revelation time. And most of the things that I've said within those 4 years are coming to the reality right in front of our eyes. Right? What I have said there and then, the niche that I choose, even though TikTok tried their endeavor best for me to change is my niche. Right? Right? Now, how they disguise it by not supporting it, by not giving the option for it to be supported. They strangled them with laws and community guidelines. Yes, they strangled them, right? Unfairly, right? I don't think another person get unfair restriction, right? Like I do. I don't believe anybody on this platform get unfair shadow banned like I do, right? I can speak for myself. If I wasn't a real man, I would cry tears. Uh, I would commit suicide. I would think that speaking the truth is the worst thing to do. Right? Yes, yes, yes. I would believe that speaking the truth is the worst thing because of how I was ignored, I was treated. You know, very few stood by me at the first because they too wanted the hype. They too needed someone to itch around so they could gain of my popularity. Many of the social medias influencers now they started copying what I did, how I did it, and get famous, get rich, and by just simply turning around what I said, right? But let's look at Jamaica today and the world over, right? We are looking. What prompted me to be on live after I heard what this commentator had said and his concern, which is true when he speaks of the rising, the rapid rising of AIDS victim in Jamaica and how scary it gets. Right? Yeah? How scary it gets when 4 or 5 years ago, when launching my campaign, right? And bigging up the baby mothers. I love. That me I say it careful this morning, That me I do it careful this morning. Me not use no words that TikTok is say me violate them community guidelines cause I want this to go out to every nook and cranny of the world. Right? Me no want to restrict it by nobody. Right? 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 Just see what me I say. Thank you for the rules. Right? 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 So when I come out and said, I love the place where life comes from, right? And I started to big up that place, right? I started to carry the message of positiveness, right? I started to love and encourage people to love the way of life, right? But sometimes my message goes nowhere. But the mark on the jeerers and the imitators, the imposters, would have talked them over on their own spiral to viral. Yes, yes, yeah. Those are the uh, some of the things that I have faced in my journey and social media. Right? The persecution, kick down, box down, thump down, right? Right? For promoting positiveness. Yes. It was only when, day before yesterday, I get thumped down, box down, kick down, and Tower Street, downtown Kingston in Jamaica, for promoting the positive way of life. Right? So, want to see what I talk about. Want to see what I am talking about. Right? How Jamaica becomes a dangerous place to promote positivity. Right? Dangerous. The most dangerous place to promote positiveness is in Jamaica. Yes. And I am happy now to see the top vloggers them that weren't paying me any mind when I started. Right? I'm happy now to hear them now. Like baby. They did not highlight me. And in those days, they did not highlight. They did not come and will make a truce against negativity. There was a campaign here for Straight Nation, and the leader for Straight Nation, unfortunately, have to seek asylum somewhere else. And we are in no one carrying the banner of the Straight Nation thing. I stood, I stepped forward and I said, I will just support the thing. Right? Right? Only just support the thing. I go and I make videos. Me want a church. Wanna support me with a church. Wanna know remember? Wanna know remember? I mean same one, I mean same one. I mean same one begging for support, begging for some people to uh, uh, to 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 rally around me. Police, police do it. Yeah, man. Me not even reach there so yet. Yeah. No, no, not the police one. This is a civilian who have done it. Right? Yeah, 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 man. battered for defending truths, rights, cleanliness, purity, and sanity. Right? Jamaica is a dangerous place to promote positiveness. And the reason for that is because of illiteracy. Illiterate people don't know that no good from bad. Don't do not they don't know what to choose. All right. um, I'm not gonna dwell too much on the incident the other day because it have already dealt with, and I decided that the individual will be pardoned. Yeah, uh, and we decided to work it out because at the time I saw that he never, in a no way do forgive him. So may forgive him for what he has done. Lack of knowledge. Now we are turning the spotlight on the lawmakers of the country. Because when I was taken to the police station, right, in a quick flash, the Holy Spirit said to me, the young man is not to be blamed. I lack knowledge. I know him don't know what you are saying. Yeah? Yeah? So I had to deal with it a different way, right? 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 Because, I didn't want it to go that way. So we talk it over and then the individual is good again. You understand? When we say good, we good. We don't have no tension, but I still going to teach him what he doesn't know. Right? Right? A lot of people watches my program, but they only watches it for the laugh. They don't see the morals or the depth in it. Right? So after what happens, I took a stance and I started to examine the way I bring across my messages. And I come to a decision to make it to take some out more of the funniness out of my delivery, right? And do it in a way a little more seriousness, right? To bring across the message and for it to reach whom I want it to reach, we have to add some seriousness to what we are doing. 31,000 people living with HIV in Jamaica alone. Right? Yes. If there's a morning, you can look forward for the evening. If there's a beginning, look forward for the end. If there is wrong move, look forward for the repercussion. The problem is when one cannot see what they are doing when they are blind. So they will never see what lies ahead. Thank heaven, I was blessed with visions. I am not blessed with big house, big car, vanity, and all of those things. But I am blessed with visions because I had known that it would have reached to this, right? Where I said it in past videos that in Jamaica today, ladies are afraid to have an intimate relationship. May I choose my word them, Yeah? Yeah? An intimate relationship. First time, some would I say it different. Right? Some want to know if I see the difference and the changes. Right? 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 So when I say that, many people laugh at me. What you talk about? What you talk about? Women are literally afraid of going into a hotel or a secluded area. They fear the men for many reasons. Right? And that makes it difficult for a man like me who love the positiveness, the way of life. Right? So many men who love the way of life can testify that they're getting a pushback from the ladies because of the behavior of men. And God, you anoint me this morning. Let me speak. Yeah. Yeah. And that reveals to them and so many occasions. I remember a case in Mandeville where a young miss were unalive in a restaurant. I don't remember the year, coming on down to Christmas. And I have to put out a video that named Sack Rocket. I'm asking when the nature of that case has come to the report that we got, right? We could see that it was clearly a Sack Rocket case, run using the productive organ to run racket, and the young miss, the result was a casket. Right? And I go on the social network and I made that be known. Said, stop, run the rocket with your socket. Right? It is chaotic, and all that you will receive is a casket. And they wouldn't hear. They wouldn't hear me. Hmm? A streamline of case with similarities. It becomes an in thing, right? After men had invest in a messy relationship, invest in messy relationship, right? And their faith were put to the test and they fail and they done the negative, right? Some behind bars, some also unalive themselves after they committed these acts out of indiscretion, fail to listen, right? Right? And I sit here like Dennis Brown. I sit here and watching fools fighting themselves. Yes. Yes. I speak. I speak to the nation in many different ways. In comedy, in, in seriousness, right? No one pay me no mind. They pay those that have no substance and elevate them to the top. Elevate them to the top. Those that have no substance, those the clout chasers, right? They elevated them, promoted them, both government and everybody, social media, promoted them, lift them to the top. And in a jiffy, they fall. They fall. Good morning, when I just started my journey, and in the middle of it, I made a video and I said, beware of the batikakis. Beware of the batikakis. Their packet, there are plenty, and their packet is lengthy. And their pocket is lengthy. Right? They are great influencers. They are great intimidators with the with the energy called money. Right? No one pay me much mind. You know what them do? They report the video and TikTok take it down. TikTok take it down. And in those days, talk over and mimic over your video was a prime thing to do. And they mimic the video to make it look like nothing. And they spiral and viral of the mimic video, while my one has been taken down. The original has been taken down. And those that they talk over and mimic gone viral. Right? All those injustice I have to put up with being positive, speaking positive on the social network. Right? Police handcuff me in halfway tree. Right? Right? Man backs me downtown, Rasta man, whom I thought I would be safe amongst. Right? Climb up on a post and hear me defending the female's positive organ, and the man stepping on my chest. Along here, man. Right? Not a Rasta man. A real Rasta wouldn't have done that. So the levels of imposters that are here, disguised people are here that supporting that lucrative industry because of money, the gains. Right? Yes. Yes, because of the gains. Some nice boys, handsome men, some sweet little girl that when I peak of the detriment of that kind of action, the reaction I get from them is alarming. Yes, alarming. And I have to counteract them by saying, remember, if you're not with me, you're against me. So we are seeing you. We are seeing your IDs. We see what you support. Because it clearly, if you don't support right, is wrong you support. And if you don't support the wrong, is the right you support. You that is easily understood. That is elementary. Right? If you don't support God, that's Satan you support. And if you don't support Satan and God, you support. If you don't support cleanliness, is dirtiness you support. And the list goes on. Right? So your action will tell you what you support. When I go to Alpha Tree and I said, I am the positive man. And girls, you must know the positive man. Everybody else can say the P word, no get restriction. But this a boy can't, and you only mention that P word here, the reproductive organ using our dialect. You say a fat restriction come up on my screen. Everybody else can use it apart from me, right? How unleavened this place is. Yes, yes. Everybody can use it, but if I ever just use it out of my mouth, my life only seen by me. Yes, yes, yeah. So the reproductive organ, because that's its rightful name, the reproductive organ or the positive whole, right? 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 Yeah. Yes. So when I said every woman must know the positive man, because if you don't know the positive man, I think I am free to say this. I won't get no restriction to say this. You will give your positiveness to a batty man. Yes, the word batty can't use, and I'm gonna get no restriction for that. Right? Me not get no restriction for that, because me advertise their glory each time I mention that word. Yeah, yeah. I am giving their attitude, action, plans some credence. So if I mention the positive, I would be throwing cold water on what they are promoting. So they want to automatically shut down the promotion of the positive whole, the positiveness, by restricting it, right? By intimidating the messenger with restriction and cancellation and well, the other one, you name them, ban, shadow ban, and all of that. So you want to out there, you want your product to out there, so you can stop the promotion of the positive, right? Yes, yes. Because the more positive word goes up in the atmosphere, is the more positive result you are going to get. Spit in the sky, fall in your eye, right? So if you are in an environment that positive words are going up, everybody will be benefiting. Positiveness would be the strength of that country, that vicinity, that home, yeah, that school, wherever, right? From the positiveness is there. Now, the negative.
Yo, Dyke, yes. Yo, man, where you going?
I gather you heard me. I gather you heard me. Or you just see me.
Where
You
where
did,
you deal with?
eh? Positiveness. From where I will start. Jamaica now. Jamaica now.
Yo, no. What tell
Hold
us?
on, hold
You
on,
hear me?
hold on, hold on. Jamaica now, Jamaican women are afraid to have a intimate relationship because of the rapid rising AIDS cases in Jamaica that they were warned
Facts,
about.
facts, facts. I real ones, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it is not that they weren't warned about it's not that they weren't warned of the situation. From 2001, I've been warning them. My video Batikaki.
Yo, so what you know? Like, you go like you can see future. What you mean by you don't want them?
Yeah, my brethren. All right, so good. All right.
I
I,
like people who go like them can see future, you know, brother.
all right. So you don't like that. Me can see the future, you know, so guess what?
So, oh, you
No,
see it.
hold on, no, man. Hold on. You don't have to fuss with me. That is me. Me can see the future, and that is what me I deal with. So all you have to
Me
do,
can't see future,
yeah,
brother.
hold on, no, my friend. Hold on. Hold on. Let me talk, man, because you're going to get time for talking. Right?
Alright.
Right? I can see the future, but you can't. Don't tell me, say, I can't. You get me?
Yeah.
Don't tell me, say, I can't. But I can. I've been there and I've done that. So if you don't like people who can see the future, all you have to do then, don't try. You don't have to fuss. You don't have to fight. You don't have to listen to him. Right? But I can see the future. Yeah. So say what you're saying, sir.
Alright, father. No, I fucked the whole thing you talk, man. I only if I rise in the HIV and some style, so woman them kind of keep themselves to themselves. Some celibate kind of thing. I get what I'm saying?
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, man. But I warned them before. I warned them.
You
The,
didn't know so the outbreak I go on.
huh? I know all right. You don't know the video, the Batikaki video that I have done. You never hear it.
The party can keep video. Which video that?
Oh, you see it. That video come out about 2023. That TikTok ban. Beware of the Batikakis. Called the Batikakis.
Burn a fire, burn a body kaki, man.
Good. You know the terms Batikaki means that a penis that is interacting in the rectum and the vagina. All right?
Fire, burn a monkey. Fire, burn a monkey. Fire,
Yeah?
burn a moose.
And that is what. No, they they did not want that message to go out at the time. So they reported the video. TikTok take it down. Now that video, the only good thing, that video go viral so fast that when them a take it down, it got over 200,000 views.
Yeah, so only but people been done see
Yeah,
it.
yes, yes, yes. Right?
But you
No.
know, some now cut you. I feel like say, you see to all the country around now, I feel like say the outbreak in a them thing that does get too much. That's the next thing. This batty thing. Them a come out too much. You know what I mean?
But exactly what we're saying here is exactly
Yeah,
what
man.
we're saying here.
Them too much now, man. Them a
Yeah?
get too much man in a
Bec-
real life.
because the seed has been sown and now it is giving birth. So when you said
Yeah.
me can look like me can see the future, right? No, if you plant a seed in the ground, you know, look for see the plant come up.
Facts, 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 facts.
Yes. So you must see in the future, right? And when I saw the negativeness, I go on. Everybody, a pastor, there was a time when the negative was strategically promoted by their own. And let me tell you how them
Yeah.
promote it. DJs take up mic. Yeah. Bonfire. Bang. Be man. Promoting the word in the atmosphere. Speak about it. Right? At length, intensely. And you saw a, a whole multitude of young men that preferred the back door started to emerge because that is what they're breathing in the atmosphere. And on that basis, when I saw what the future is going to be, I said, when you see me a road, call me the P man, the positive man. At that
Facts.
point and time, no man in Jamaica wanted to be a P man. They prefer to say them a bad man. Because if you say you when them a curse you, then say you're a pee hole man. And no say when them say you're a pee hole man, a hana them a hana you. Yes, and that's why I take on the name as as the positive man, right? Yes, to get more positiveness in the atmosphere. Now it's working. Because if it wasn't for my action, when I walk the street, every car pass me, you see them car, them window go down. P-man, P-man, men, women, boys, and girls. So
Positive mind.
more positive word going up in the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And you have
Wait, hold on. Now, Kotta, where you think about the youth them where rob the senior citizen them now? Days, where you think about them?
there you go again. Foundation for negativity. That's negative. That's wicked. Right? Right? The senior citizen would have worked on. Then look at me now, a senior citizen, 70-year-old man, a 19-year-old or 20-year-old. Day before yesterday, stepping on my chest because me a talk
Stepping on
truth.
your chest?
Yes,
For real?
yes, yes.
Stepping on your chest for?
Well, son Thompson, because I'm speaking positive. I'm trying to teach his child about the positiveness of life that him don't know to
Finish that
teach
you
her.
want with man, my general man. I like that man, a mad man.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I see a man turn around, don't make the police them lock him up. Because I love me having a my heart in and him not see it. Right? Yeah, him not see it. Right? And that's exactly what I was trying to show him. Yes. So it is very difficult. One of the hardest thing to promote in Jamaica, is positiveness. As you mentioned about the senior citizen getting robbed, I make many videos on that. The senior
Yeah, man.
citizen will go and work in the cold and come back here trying to relax, and a man, for
Feel like
instance,
a
is
whole heap of,
so,
feel
so,
like a whole heap of wrongdoings I get
well, I know.
glorification.
So, for instance, is a female, right? You find a young, strong man being as a body cold and to go and con the person in the name of love. Unalive the person and get her all her what she had worked for. Right? Those things happening, right? In Jamaica. Returning resident being robbed, right? and for whatever is happening on both side of the coin, both sexes. It happened to show you the murkiness of Jamaica. I am listening to some videos and hear foreigners talking about Jamaica and to how they are describing Jamaica. It's a Jamaica can to the dogs. And they even encouraging their natives to stop use even the Jamaican slangs because Jamaican is no longer the pied piper of the world. Gone. Right? So not even our bad word, they must say, we not them not be use because they are not Jamaican, right? But they were adapting the Jamaica. Me remember, me have a friend that used to leave Jamaica and go to abroad just to teach Yankees the Jamaican walk and the Jamaican talk. Yeah? Now Yankees don't want that again. Right? Because so much negative has surrounded Jamaica. So they don't want to captivate that negativeness of the Jamaicans.
Even the politician them
Yes, yes.
politics.
Mm. No longer Jamaica is the pied piper of the world, right? We have shut ourselves in our feet with our attitude. We don't value ourselves anymore. We don't look like the number one, the capital of the world anymore. We look like the dregs of the world in a foreign country today. Right? Right? Even Barbados is riding higher. Better leader coming from a female. Right? Right? From the government level to to the handcart pusher to harm's house level. Corruption is evident. Then, oh, corruption is not positive, Corruption is negative. So AIDS is not positive, AIDS is negative. So you plant the seed on negativeness. Hurricane, category 5 hurricane is not positive, It's a negative wind that destroy our land. The drought that we are facing, it is not positive, It's a negative reaction of the atmosphere. The El Nino is a negative reaction of the atmosphere. And that is what you planted, and that is what you're receiving. Negativeness, negativity. My dear sir, if you can remember well, wish to speak the truth, you want to say that this book is good, and you don't use the word good, which is a positive word. You say the book bad. So what you going to tell me? What are you planting? What do you expect to receive from that? Right? When I started my campaign and backshot, and I said, no human being must meet the reverse way from back way. No human being must meet that way. The backlash and the curse when we get, because they are not seeing the repercussion of being conceiving back way, that way. They were not seeing it, but I was seeing the type of some of them lie defending their action, lack of knowledge, right? Why they lied, right? Defending their action, right? Because they do not know better, right? Yeah. If you conceive in a backward position, then the positiveness of the human being won't be in that exchange of energy, right? So you must get a child with a negative component, a negative, although the child may look positive, but that child was conceived under a negative symbols. And the reason why a lot of people do not know, they do not know symbolism. So right there and then, who is to be blamed? The government. By not, you remember at one time they take out civics out of school? Remember? The educational that we have here, the education, the brand of education that we have here is a negative brand of education. Yes, because the brand of education were handed down to us by our colonizers, those that colonized us, right? Yes. So they don't want to see us elevate to the top. They want to marginalize us where they can use us, right? Yes. So the true meaning, the definitions of words, right? You remember the definitions of maroon when Oxford University has to apologize to us for sending out the wrong definition of the word maroon. And I remember that clearly, that there was a town hall meeting in Pembroke Hall School. Was it in Pembroke Hall School or over by, I think it was the Reverend Al Miller's church, right? When the then Prime Minister was Bruce Golding, thanks to Claudette, the green wagon lady in Carnation Market. She told me about the forum, and I go there with an intention to ask just one question. It was it was a press conference, right? And the one question I go there to ask, when Oxford University apologizes to us for the wrong definition of the word maroon, right? It was all over in the news, right? But I choose to ask the prime minister at the time. So I think I were the second one that asked him a question. And my question to the prime minister, the Honorable Bruce Golding at the time, was, Mr. Prime Minister, we have heard Oxford University apologizing to us for the wrong definition of the word maroons, right? Right? Do you think the wrong definition causes a negative impact, or we are getting a negative behavior from the inhabitants because of the wrong definition of the word? And the other part of the question, because I remember clearly, the other part of the question is, and if one word is only one word has been pointed out and corrected, isn't there many other word that is wrongly defined? Right? And I was asking a panel, was speaking to a panel, and the Honorable Bruce Golding jumped into and said, oh, I'll take that one. I'll take that one. I'll take that one. Yeah? And he said, it's neither here nor there. It's neither here nor there. In other words, let's sweep that under the carpet. But that's the impression I got from his response. Right? No, man, that is not important. You know, because sitting there, they didn't know who I am. Right? Right? But the journalists after the forum, I were the star. I am the one the journalist is focusing on and say, wonderful question, straightforward question, but we don't even like the answer what you get. Yes. Right? So, isn't there more words that is wrongly defined? Because what? The education that we have, it was forced on us by our colonizers to not for the betterment of the indigenous people, but for the betterment of them. So they're using us as a stepping stone. Yes. They are using us to carry the heavy load, to carry the mantle, right? So when we are saying words supporting them, promoting them, and demoting ourselves, cow jump over the moon, right? The words that we are using, the attitude that we have, it supports our colonizers, right? Because it's their education, right? For instance, the spelling of some words, and they tell us that letters are silent. You think it's not our reason? Yes, it's our reason. Do you take time out to do what Babandi said? A lot of you don't know what Babandi said, or you don't remember what Babandi said. Babandi said, check it out. Check it out. And go and make that discovery. Right? That's what I have done. Right? That's what I have done. Today, we don't use the word check it out. We use research. Go and research it. Right? Go and research it. Check it out, man. Before you run with it, check out the authenticity. Look deeper than what they tell you. Go down in meditation, man. Go in a secluded area. Check it out before you answer or you come on the social network with an argument that you cannot sustain. Certain question asked to you and you cannot answer about it, but you are just spreading something that you cannot really and truly manage to discuss. Right? Right? Because you don't check it out. You go off a hearsay, a copy someone's thought and someone's words, someone's sayings, right? That's why they teaches you and they insist when you're going school in transcription. Transcription means copy, right? Copying. Compose means you write, you compose, composition. You compose as a paragraph of words. You compose it. That's composition. The other one, you have transcription, dictation, the one that they tell you what to write, dictate to you what you must write, right? And those are the one they spent time teaching you. The most important one of the four, of the three, the four, because I don't give you the fourth one yet. The fourth and last and most important of them all is comprehension. That's the one they place the less emphasis on. Comprehension, right? Right? Because comprehension comes through great concentration, leads on to meditation. Then you will get the revelation, right? No, that is self-taught. Dictating at them up, it tell you what they say, right? Transcription, a copy of a copy, what them say. Composition, you have to compose what in your mind, your thoughts, but them are going to give you a subject, right? 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 But to comprehend all of those now, the transcription, the dictation, and the composition, right? To comprehend their purpose. What is their purpose, right? Right? That's where it is. Because comprehension leads to concentration. And exactly what they don't want you to do, they don't want you to concentrate, because concentration is the next, is a closer step to meditation. And that is what they want to disrupt, your meditation. So there's a lot of things. Starvation, can't meditate. Yeah? Intimidation, can't meditate. Confusion, can't meditate. Right? So they are actually blocking meditation, the real authentic source of learning. Right? Education. Right? The real source of learning. Bob Marley said, I didn't understand when Bob Marley said they make their world so hard every day. We gotta keep on fighting. They make their world so hard every day. The people are dying from hunger and starvation. Yes, you don't know your credential. Because the brand of education that we have is from our colonizers. It is to do just that. Not knowing who you are. In great meditation, you will see who you are. And nobody can tell me who me are. See me see through meditation. So they make up a fictitious story about creation, how man were created, and what they have said about man, how man were created, is totally impossible. Right? But God blew breath into man. Right? So you see, that brand of education was to send the fools a little further. That's why you have All Fools Day. Right? To send the fools a little further. Because they would be contradicting what is in the Bible. There was no man. So which man that named God that blow breath into another man to bring him into existence, right? You can see that is totally impossible. But because you're not concentrating you're not concentrating on the garbage that they're teaching, right? So you don't reach meditation and to get the revelation, right? That's what I have done and could have and can proudly say to you, not no go so. Not no go so, and it can't go so. That's a lie. That's a myth, mythologies. Not no go so. But ask the majority of Jamaicans and see if they don't have that philosophy. Say God blow breath in a man. Yes. What you conceive God to be, first and foremost. What you conceive God to be. What is it? An energy, an entity, or a man? Right? What do you conceive God to be? First, you have to identify God. Right? It's God first. You have to identify it, right? And when you look in meditation, you can't get a man. You cannot get a man. The revelation that man, blessed morning, right? So that mythology that they're teaching them, that is what causing people today to ignore the positive and running with the negative. They symbolized under negativity. They symbolize they're acting under a negative umbrella. So negativity, God is the source of all. You have to break down that. You have to break down that. The all is good. The all is good. Yes, but you will have to break down that. And also, vibration, you will have to break down creation. Remember, you are teaching now some, what you then call it, contaminated brain people. So you cannot just leave it like that. Right? You have to break down that smaller. Yes, you can tell me, but guess what now? I know me are the problem. Yes, me can learn, and can learning never stop. Right? But I know me are the problem. You have to target those that don't know that they are brainwashed. Right? So in leaving it like this, God is the source of all creation. They are confused, so that you are now feeding that impulse of confusion even more. So you need to break down that to their levels of learning. So some call the universe, some call it God, or quantum field, or the unified field. Too big, too complicated, my brother. You have to find something within that. With all those words, you have to find out a simple way of breaking down God. A simple way. No, that is the university teaching that has been given to us by our colonizers. Right? So you will have to come from your out of your natural instinct. I don't want the university answers and questions. Right? We want what you got out of meditation, not what you get out of an institution. Right? That's what we want, Right? We want when you eyeball out the thing, when you look, when you started to concentrate and you started to meditate, me want you to give me what you saw. That's why the young man that was on first, believing that if I can see in the future, I am a demons. As him said, I don't like people who claim so them can see in the future. That's what they were told. To not knowing their strength and their power. And that is the power is meditation. But instead of meditation, they taught them confusion, religions, and bring them politicians. Who is the architect of confusions? Yes. Yeah. So they are confused. And if you're going to add confusion to them, you're only making matters worse. No. You see how rich? You see how rich this reasoning is? And I'm going for over an hour. Look how the board suggests that I'm talking sense or nonsense. This board that I'm looking at, 145 likes and 5% like it. Let me see the duration of the live now. It flashed off how long, but it is over an hour. If I were having a live that promoting negativeness, that would be about 14,000 likes. Right? So you see what I'm saying? So the people today don't know what is good and what is right, what is true and what is lie, what they ought to support from what they ought not to support. The people them don't know because they are confused. Because why they are confused? Because they refuse to concentrate, to lead them on to meditate. So they can't bother with meditation. Meditation is too hard. So can't bother with that, Google. We want to know how January spell. Google. They don't put the J sound, the A sound, they call it syllables. And get the sounds of every letter in the word. And you place them that they sound. Every letter in a word, January. Every letter should sound. Right? There is no word where any letter ought to be silent. If it had to be silent, no put in there, it no belongs to in there. Right? It no belongs to in there, so it not in there. But whose brand of education that? Is it the Africans? Is it the Jamaican? That's the European brand. That's our colonizers' brand. Yeah. So that is all that making the confusion. The people them do not know right. And if, you know how many people there now watching this live and say foolishness matter? Why? Because that's not what they were taught in school. That's not what they were taught by their parents. So who is this white beard man? Especially if you cannot concentrate, if especially if if your mind is already nurtured with corruption and seasoned to lies, allegories, mythology, and corruption, right? If your brain is already corrupted, all that I'm saying here is nonsense to you. Lord, me head a hurt, me a foolishness in my talk. Because that's not what they were nurtured with. They nurtured with a lie. Cow jump over the moon. Dish run away with a spoon. Mhm. They who give them that nursery rhyme. They're colonizers, mimicking them. Because they are the conqueror. They came, they saw, they conquered us and educate us their way using the Bible, the dictionary, another source of books. Yes, religions and politicians. Politicians are the premier puppets for spreading the indoctrination, right? And the pastors, right? The peas, the police, yes, for the indoctrination, right? The police is to arrest you if you prove to be unruly, if you go against what the politician said, right? Right? If you go against what the politician said, the police job is to intimidate you, right? And use the law to scare you. That's why Junior Marvin said, police and thief in the street, fighting the nation, scaring the nation with their guns and ammunitions. Right? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. The pastor is to mislead the people in the name of God and Jesus. Right? So the three P's. And when they get so sophisticated, and when I tell them about the three P's, the four P's, and the one in which I honored is the P, the one that they don't want me to mention here, which is life. The European call it vagina, right? The only P that is right, positive. So if I call it and spell it the way it ought to spell, with C SSUP, right? Just write down that and you get the right spelling. CSSUP, and you get the right spelling. Yes, you get the right spelling. CSSUP. You get, because every letter in CSSUP sound, but spell it YSSUP and see if the Y sound. Come on, man. Elementary. All those are elementary. Right? To me, I don't know about you, but those are my bread and butter. Why? Because I go in deep meditation. Right? Right? Yeah? I go in deep meditation. And when I am bringing the revelation, that what get them so frustrated, so mad. Say, oh, I let out them secret there, but who me no want to know those things. Or who him. Right? Or who him. I let out the secret where we no want them to know. Right? Because if the word not spelled properly, it lost its effect. it's like it's like what you saw them doing here now. Want to say good, want to say this book is a good book, but they say it's a bad book. When they say it that way, it promotes the negativeness of the environment. Okay? Bad weather, bad, bad this, bad body. Bad body is when there's no life in it. A bad man is a dead man. Once you have life, you're a good body. Right? Once you have life, you are good. It don't name body, it name goody. Goody. Once the blood in it and you can move. Right? Right? A bad man is a dead man. Right? And when you are promoting dead, when you should be promoting life, when the dead is known as negative, and when you are promoting the negative over the living, what do you expect to go up in the atmosphere? Hmm? Why you think it is easier, cheaper to live to live? No, more than to die. I am living for 70 years and I never own $1,000,000. And if I did, it going takes more than $1,000,000 to bury me. You see you see the backway principle, right? I never owned $1,000,000. I did not get $1,000,000 as a gift when I was born. When I was good, I did not get $1,000,000. And when I cannot spend it, $1,000,000 going to put me away or more. You see what I'm saying? Hmm? So those of you who are calling good bad and bad good, I know that you don't know what you're doing. I know you don't know that you are embracing the negative in all your doings. And that exactly what our colonizers required us of us to do. Right? Exactly. Man like me, our colonizers won't hug me up. Yes. Him won't hug up a man. They won't hug up a man like me, you know. Cause right away they're gonna deem me as a bad influence. If and only whom don't have that space of intelligence, that scope of knowledge. That's why the Bible said, and many are called and but a few are chosen. Only a few people going to acknowledge what I am saying. Majority turn off them device, gone at them bed. But the positive one sit up, listen, learn, pick sense out of nonsense, put it together, right? And started the changes at the same time. I've gone through it. I was dark. I was under the influence of pastor in at the church every Sunday, every Saturday, church. Right? Yeah. Under their influence, they are recitating to me. I did forget to mention that one. Recitation is for me to recite what they tell me. So me just reciting. Lots of people today are reciting the greedy dog lost his bone. Lots of people are reciting that. Yes, because they do not know the reflection, yeah, the repercussion of you dropping your bone. Right? So they, they do not know that reflection is fake. Reflection is fake. Fake. So you are running away from the real thing for reflection, just as the dog did. The dog see the reflection of his own shadow and drop his bone, and they haunt you with it on the social network every day in small skits and have you laughing and you're not seeing the reality of it. Wait, I will turn you on. This minute. Automatica. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. I'm getting hot. I'm getting hot. And the fan just come on itself and I did not turn it on. I remember when I turned off the fan while I was going to start this live because I do not want that trickling in there. But sitting here, I'm getting hot. And I did not move, me alone in the house. And the fan comes on. Yes, the fan comes on. Oh, how wonderful God is. This is a testimony and a testimony and a half. Yes. This is a testimony. Right? God see that I really need some cool air in the morning. 3:36. I started this program 2 minutes after 2. Right? Well, If you know, that is like me telling you. You ask God. You know God? Ask God, Jay. Mm. I know if you were watching, you don't see me get up and the fan turn on me right now. You hear the difference now? Of the fan in the background. That's why I turn it off. Right? When I was going to start the live. I don't want it to sound I'm streaming live on YouTube and it always change the quality, the background. So I turned it off and opened the windows of my house, right? And I did not get up. I sit here talking, Jay, and the fan come on. And if you're listening, say that who turn you on? That means you're not listening, Jay. You're not listening. Ah, and there goes the thing, you know. There goes the thing. Man underestimate the power of positiveness. It's just, Jay, it's just the power of the positive words that I'm speaking, you know. Make that happen, you know. Right? It is just the power of the words that I'm speaking. Make that happens. Yes. Over 1.5 hours, I turned off the fan. But I'm getting hot. And the fan just come on itself. Because I'm speaking. Jay, you see the reward to be positive though. That is the lesson you must learn, you know. Jay, you must learn lessons from all these small things. Right? Yes. That's a lesson I learned. Jamanings, world peace, balance, full balance, Picnic, approval, blessed. Yes, Jamanings. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Bless up yourself over there on Facebook. Yes. Bless up yourself every time, Jamanings. Good to know. Uh, yeah. Kusi power. Yes, yes. So we have to stay on top of them, you know, because they they wanted to tell me, shut up. They wanted to shut me up. So they don't tell you to shut up again. They use a button and call it restriction. Restrict you from talking. Right? They're restricting you. So when they send you a restriction, then touch a button and they restrict you from your voice being heard in an extensive land, right? They restrict you. So you will have to stay on top of things and not to be restricted because they knew about karma as well. If that they blatantly do things, they will lose their credibility. So what they have done, they have used the thing that you learn, the craft of business, the art and the craft of business, right? To go about their business. So they couldn't just tell you, say, me I go cut you off. And me must tell the people them say at that happen because when them a restrict me, you not see say them restrict me, you know. You will only find yourself just disappear off of the screen, right? Because I'm me alone with the panic. Because when me attack, and when me not want the people them, when them don't want the people them to hear how to concentrate, then meditate, then you will get the revelation. You will have the true knowledge. Now, the true knowledge that you will get from meditation will show up the indoctrination. Right? How you were indoctrinated. Right? So that is why they are not promoting meditation. And they have stuff like Google and other devices that support a lazy brain. Spell this. So you don't concentrate to meditate. So you will perpetually hearing what you want to go beyond, because it's a program that is there, and it is programmed by man, a corrupted man, our corrupted colonizers. So they don't simply don't want you to know this source of where the real knowledge comes from. Yes, the real knowledge, that source of undiluted truth. The Bible, this is a diluted truth. Yes. The Bible, truth is diluted. Are you with me? Are you with me? What is dilution? Then, water down. Dilution is to throw fresh water, like using a pot of soup, and you want it not to be so rich. So what you do? You dilute the richness by pouring some water in it. So the Bible is a diluted truth. How many agree? God, people say Tai chicks gonna say, I'm mad now. Yes. Come say the Bible is a diluted truth. Yes. It is watered down. But that doesn't say the truth isn't still in the Bible. That's why, remember, I tell you about transcribe. The Bible is a transcribed book. And during its transcription, it got the dilution by either adding or taking away from it. You add water to take away the richness from it. Remember the soup or the porridge? That you add water, you dilute the rum to take out the power out of it, that strength out of it. You weakened it with the water or the tracer, right? Diluted stuff, right? Now, in the Bible translation, that's when you get the dilution. How about the scroll? The scroll, the scriptures that were scripted by the inspired man, no need to dilute, because the scroll is the original. So when the Bible is being copied from the scroll by unjust men, that's when it were diluted. Yes, that's when it were diluted, when it were being copied, because transcription is copying, copy. So you may not, you can deliver some of the errors in the Bible are deliberate, and some are just definitely errors. Okay? But how you work out that? Hmm? If you are not, they blocked your meditation. It's not everyone comes from the language that I am from. It's not everyone has the determination to research and search and search for the truth. Not everyone would have wanted to live by themselves, just to meditate perpetually. If I weren't living by myself, I couldn't be doing this. And I started to meditate. I am free to meditate because I have no one to distract. And I never felt lonely because the Creator created me for a purpose. He created me for a time. So he wants his spirit. He wants my attention. I must not be robbed from my attention. I was sleeping. And I find myself, Jay would not agree with me. Jay would say, me lie. And I just find myself woke up at about 1:30. And something inside of me just said, go live. And me get the subject, right? Positiveness. Teach positiveness. Right? As a reward of that, I turn off the fan when it was cool. Now I'm getting hot and the fan just come on itself. Hmm? So God don't want me to even get up from around these devices to even stretch forth my hand to turn on the fan, because that would break my concentration and 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 prevent that meditation. They show you see, when you are meditating, you must not be distracted, right? You must not be distracted. You must, the Bible said, steadfast. fast. And I'm hastened to say, because I realized I did not complete, to tell you that good and evil is in the Bible, and you can only know the good from the evil when you read it with great meditation, relax, concentration. Concentrate yourself, concentrate, steady yourself, put everything into the reading. Or if it is you're listening to the reading, put everything into it, and you will get the revelation. And so it's the revelation you look for when you read. That's why comprehension is so important, and they teaches you the least of meditation and comprehension. Right? Very little comprehension. They tell you about comprehension. But I love comprehension. Comprehension is, let me tell you what is comprehension. Comprehension is like building a house. Yes? And you have the rough walls. And then you granite the wall. Right? And then you painted the wall. The paint is the last thing on the wall. So that's when it is completed. So when you read, yes, it is not completed until you comprehend it. Is I will make a statement here, and you say, yeah, man, and you don't know a thing when me say, because you don't comprehend what I said. So you go back tomorrow, go and do the same thing that you were taught not to do, because you have heard it, but you don't comprehend it. Now I'll go on there. No, that's not it. Mhm. What is this? My son screen flashing. And what is happening here? You have heard it, but you don't comprehend it. So from you not comprehending, that means you don't know it. You only hear it. So it doesn't go on into your knowledge compartment. Eh? You hear them say? It goes through one ears and come through the other. It is not being comprehended. So you will hear the thing, but don't comprehend it. That's why I break down these things so low. That's why God don't get me into a university for me to get their knowledge. Because God want me to teach the university people how to reverse what they have learned, because it's a curse they learn. And to reverse the curse, I am reversing the university curse, not the universal curse, but the university curse out of your mind so you can reform yourself, reorganize yourself, right? Reorganize yourself, or in other words, emancipate yourself from that mental slavery. Right? Babylon released the chain, but using their brain in giving you the incorrect meaning, incorrect spelling, so you don't know yourself. Right? Having you rejecting the good and accepting the bad. Yes. Oh, goodness gracious. Hmm? Having you rejecting the good things. Where do I start the conversation this morning? All right. I got a little cooler. Where's Jay? My fan went out again and I did not turn it off. Right? Jay, am I lying? Well, I don't know. Probably I needed a new fan, Jay. Yeah. But the fan went out again and I didn't turn it off. All right. And I am not, I am not going to get up to turn it on because I don't have one of the artificial intelligent fan to say, fan, turn on. Right? I have a manual fan. And I'm not, I'd rather to sit here and wet under the heat, sweat, more than breaking the concentration. I saw it even with the computer that I'm streaming on. Want to break my concentration, want to break the levels that I'm teaching, right? So that's how they manipulate you by distracting you, right? For you to get offline. So when they saw you steady in the concentration, right? And your elements started to open up and you started to see the things clear, they come in with distraction. Now, why they're not gonna like me? They think that I am stubborn. I have a passion for learning, for meditating, right? And it's simple telling them that nothing can break that man's concentration. As Job's wife tried to break his concentration. Job friends tried to break his concentration, so he can Job cannot see, cannot meditate. Right? The wife said, "Why you don't curse God and die?" Right? Job said, "You speak like a madman, a mad woman." Right? Right? So when then she said, then can make you and then can break you, right? Them have to eventually left you. Once once you started to once you started to buffle and shuffle under their pressure, they are gonna continue the pressure on you. But once they see that you are determined, right? You're not giving up, right? They will eventually have to leave you. Right? Right. So they tried so many things to break that concentration. But when you set out to do a work, right, never is until it is complete. Yes, like I said, comprehension is the completion of knowledge. Right? Yeah, knowing a sentence, all right? For example, let's use this. How do you comprehend this? We are going to look at a word, and I'm going to use the one that comes. Could I use Matthew 19? All right. Comprehension we are looking at now. The form comprehension too. We are going to read. When Jesus finished saying these things, he left Galilee and went to the territory of Judea on the other side of the Jordan River. A large crowd followed him, and he healed them there. So you would comprehend that very easily. But probably words like territory, Jordan, that probably I have never gone to, right? But that was easily to comprehend, because that's elementary, right? Then it further goes on into the story, and it said, some Pharisees came to him, that is over the Jordan, across the road now, Some Pharisees came to him and tried to trap him by asking what they were doing. They were trying to get Jesus off his meditation. He was there healing the people. They come there and want to get him off track, right? So they tried to trap him in his meditation, right? And ask him, does our law allow a man to divorce his wife for whatever reason he wishes? Well, you take into consideration here that Jesus was healing people up here. That's what it said. Jesus never no divorce thing. He was healing the sick people. And when they saw what Jesus was doing, they want to take him off his concentration, his meditation. They started to ask him about divorce. But Jesus started to show them his guile, his style, his flexibility, that he is not easily be confused or lost his way. So Jesus answered, haven't you read the scripture that says that in the beginning, here's not going to take a lot of comprehension now, that in the beginning, the creator made people male and female. Why did Jesus say that? After the man asks him about divorce, some alphabetical people come to the front of the line. Come to the front of the line. Right? Open your ears. That this is the reason why Jesus mentioned it. That a male must not marry to a male, and a female must not marry to a female. Right? That's why he answered like that. You want to hear it again? Jesus answered, haven't you read the scripture? He did not say the Bible. Because Jesus don't speak of Bible. Jesus speak of the scriptures, which is the scroll. So Jesus was pointing them to the original print. Because Jesus knew that the Bible was contaminated. Right? So he doesn't preach about the Bible. He's preaching about the scriptures. Right? Right? He said, haven't you read the scripture that says that in the beginning, the Creator made people male and female. Right? Now, divorce I asked about. Right? So either way, come again. And God said, for this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and unite. What is unite? What is unite? Come on. Are you with me? What is unite? Unite mean go back where you are from. Unite with your mother and your father. So the same way you came, the same thing that mama and daddy done to get you here is the same thing you ought to do. Unite the place where you're from, whether you call it reproductive organ, whether in what language you want to call it. All right, let's call it the one that they said is legal, the vagina. Right? Right? To unite. Right? Right? Unite. You and that you must go back in unison. Right? With where you are from, because that is the ultimate marriage. Merge. And the only thing that can merge you is both of the reproductive organs. Me no want no come shoot me now, you know. And say me I let out too much I secret one, you know, want come out. Me no want you come ban me now, you know. Right? Me no want to no come report me to the algorithm, no, cause God a watch you know. Right? God a watch you know. And see what I do, you know. Cause God knows say, and his word may I speak, which is truth. I'm here just as a vessel. Right? Right? So make me read the statement again, verse 5. And God said, for this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and unite with his wife. A man will leave his mother and father and unite with his wife. The man comes out of the vagina. And to unite is to go to his wife. His mother have already bring him on the face of the earth. So you now gonna unite back into that place with the opposite sex, the wife. Now, in those days, every woman were known as wife, and every man was known as husband. Every woman known as wife, and every man were known as husband. Oh, you're not old enough to hear sayings like this. You not carry no money come, but you come in and want a wife. A wife you want? No, that's how the old time people used to describe sex. Right? Used to call sex wife. Right? I'm old enough to know that. Not young enough to call it daggering like you. Right? Or backers. Right? The old time tradition was wife. Wife you want. Yeah. And he didn't stop there. He said, and the two will becomes one. At that point in time, the two will becomes one. And the only time the two of you can becomes one is when the two of you join together. And the two heart beating as one. That's why the position, the missionary, where you prostrate upon the opposite sex and the pumping of the blood that caused the explosion within your mindset and the ejaculation, right? Coming from the heart is what pumps the blood. And the two heart must beat as one to bring that explosion, right? That gives a relief of the tension of your mindset. That's how powerful sexual exchanges are, right? Right? Yes. You know, you two, the two will becomes one. Verse 6 said, so they are no longer two, but one. Right? That's real unite. That's the whole meaning of unite. Right? So he said there, no human being must separate then what God has joined together. So God had made the tool, the pole and the hole to join the hub and the axle. Just take a mechanical look through meditation, and you will see the racket and the socket. Right? Just look deep. You will see the racket and the socket. The racket were made for the socket, and the socket were made for the racket. Right? So the socket shouldn't try to fit with anything else but with the racket. Nothing else. And the racket shouldn't be aiming for nothing else but the socket. So, Mr. Man, who are aiming elsewhere, like the mouth, the rectum. No, 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 no. That's a no-no. The socket. That socket. That's a no, 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 no. Comprehend the thing. Right? So you see where you are the one can make sexual exchange wrong, but not God. And never God make it wrong. You, to your wrong interpretation, right? Your wrong education of how you were taught. But here you cannot say you don't know. 11 how no. Where upon the life where me I see. You can't say you didn't know. Can me make sure break it down as low as this to reach you, to make you fully overs where you go wrong and where you go right. What you ought to do to get it right, what you're going to do to get it wrong, or what you're doing to get it wrong. Right? This is comprehension time. Right? All right. No human being must separate then what God has joined together. All right. The Pharisees asked him, the distractors, them, you can call them the distractors. The distractors asked him, why then did Moses give the law for a man to hand his wife a divorce notice and sent her away? This is lovely, you know. This is lovely. Yeah, the distractors, them. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that was a valid question. That was a valid question from the distractors. Why then, if it only takes, the Pharisees is contemplating, if it only takes the two reproductive organ to marry, how the hell paper and pen come in it? That is what they were asking here, you know. The Pharisees asked them, why then did Moses give the law for a man to hand his wife a divorce notice and sent her away? Right? So this was a valid question. They asked the Messiah. And the Messiah going to respond positively and validly to them. And this is how we respond. Moses gave you permission to, he did not say separate. He used the word divorce. He did not say pull. He said divorce. He did not say let go. He said divorce. He did not say unjoin. It means he said divorce, because the word divorce covers all of those. Set apart. Set apart. Right? Pull out the pole out of the hole. Set apart. We are no longer two. We are one. Set apart. All right? Can I go further? Moses gave you permission to divorce your wives. The reason, because you are so hard to teach. Why did Jesus say it? It's because the people did not comprehend properly what marriage are. They did not comprehend that the authentic marriage is with the two reproductive organs, the whole and the pole. Right? That is spiritual. Right? So Moses has to come along with the physical to break it down to show them in the physical world. Right? Just like how I'm breaking it down to you, Moses did have to come with the pen and the paper and write Allah say. What Allah say? This is what Moses said. Right? Before we hear what Moses said, listen what Jesus completely said. Complete. But all right, let me flow it again so you can understand. Jesus answered, Moses gave you permission to divorce your wife because you are so hard to teach. You know what? Difficult things. You know what? The simple things. Right? So Moses are going to add some more complication now to marriage. That's all Moses do, Add the paper and the pen to marriage and divorce. That is all Moses do. Right? We using the law. But but it was not like that at the time of creation. So you comprehended that it wasn't like that. It is since man started to take advantage of their one another. And, I use you and abuse you, then refuse you. And Moses said, no, either way, it can't work so. We have to go bring in now Allah to intimidate you, to make, if you use the woman, compensate her. If you use the man, compensate him. Right? Yes. That's why the assets started to share in divorce. Right? In the beginning, it weren't so. You just love, because a man not have sex out of love. And out of marriage, is out of love. So when you hear them say, you have sex out of marriage, not gossip, is when you have sex out of love. What we mean by having sex out of love? When you don't love the person and the two are joined together, it's not meaningful. It's a fake. It is just for the exchange of material things. Right? So that marriage is not being endorsed by God. Right? So it is not out of marriage. I tell you about indoctrination. I tell you about wrong teaching. Right? So the religion run with the wrong teachings and said it's out of marriage, but it is out of love. Love the person, don't join with the person. You don't. So no other, because he might go tell you further down, you know. He might go tell you further down. You see. But it was not like that at the time of creation. I tell you then that any man who divorces his wife for any cause other than her unfaithfulness commits adultery if he marries some other woman. Meaning, if he goes and have sexual relationship with another woman while and making the woman believe that he was committed to she alone, right? Right? And giving way, it's a big crime in the spirit, because each person you have a sexual relationship with, you pick a spirit. And it would be unfair for you to carry someone else's spirit to amalgamate with your spirit. So it's a spiritual crime, right? Right? You must first finish away with this one and say, me done. But to join and to release, Moses up to write the documents, right? To show. So it is not the documents that makes much, is your action, right? Is your action, that's where it is. You are unfaithful, all right? Where unfaithful mean, all right? Me go out there, go on the rubbish truck, go work, my money, the energy, carry it, come give you, right? Me lost my energy on the garbage truck. Now, my wife has the energetic plant, right? To energize me to go back to work the next day, but she's unable to do so because she has already energized someone else. And the same vice versa for the man. So it becomes a crime. The first one was to pass the spirit on. The second one is that I cannot get the use of you, right? But you are getting the use of me. It goes the other way. The woman a wash, the woman a cook, the woman a provide you with that sexual energy, and you not get, and you not fear no mind, whether financially or sexually. You there on domino table when she want to curdle, right? Yeah, she want to release. You upon a football field, or you're with another person that's unfaithful. So if you can prove that your spouse is doing that, then you left him. And if are you in the wrong, then are your fault. If it is you in the wrong, then it's your fault. Right? So you have to find your way out. Right? So Moses write that and say, all right, uno tell the world, say, uno done. Just like how the ring telling us that me and you are together. The piece of paper sign say we pull, we no longer together. Right? But if you have children, the merge of the DNA makes you cannot break it asunder. That's why you must not have sex with someone whom you don't desire to make a family with. So if you know you don't love the person from the beginning, then it shouldn't reach to sexual activities for nothing else but love. Not money, not house, not my job, not my car. You understand me? That nothing more but love. Right? His disciples. No. This is not long. The disciples were standing close by and they were observing and absorbing what the Pharisees, the conversation the Pharisees and Jesus were having. So they intervened. If his disciples said to him, if this is how it is between a man and his wife, it is better not to marry. You see how them look at it? That even them never knew the responsibility of just seeing as a man Miss Matty's daughter and started to utilize her. How important that is. Now, this child, this woman is not yours. You and I died that this boy is not yours, is somebody else's child. Why then should you take somebody else's child and abuse that person? Right? Use that person. And you wouldn't like someone to do that to your child. Right? So why you taking Miss Matthew boy and I boops him out and I fool him? Right? I use him. Why? So that's why the disciples said, then if I say go, it's better not to marry. Stay single. Right? Then may we out all of those trouble. But Jesus catch up on them and said, you see, this teaching does not apply to everyone. Not everyone know the depth. Not everyone can bring it as low as I am bringing it to you. Right? Breaking it down. Not everyone. Right? That this teaching does not apply to everyone, but only to those whom God has given it. So you see what I give you? If God never give it to me to break it down to you in this understandable way, you couldn't have received it. Because he knows how difficult it is to comprehend. So it must someone with a deeper comprehension ability that he has given it to through the Holy Spirit to break it down for you and let you know it. Now, we have false prophets, false teachers, false everybody, but you still have the real one. Right? So, comprehension leads you to the real person. Right? Comprehension and revelation. I know while I'm speaking, I'm revealing a lot of your secret there, as if I'm looking right, as if I'm reading a notepad of you, as if someone has informed me about you. So that's the revelation you're getting of what you're doing. the revelation you're getting of yourself, then when that is when you know, don't believe, but now you know. So this morning, don't tell me, say, you know, you believe, you know what is marriage now and what is divorce. You no longer believe. Prior to this morning, you did believe. But now, I know you know, it has been broken down and the revelation has come to you. We're not done yet. We are finished up now. Jesus answered, this teaching does not apply to everyone, but only to those to whom God has given it to. And the reason why, I'm going to tell you now, for there are different reasons why men cannot marry. Some because they were born that way, others because men made them that way, and others do not marry for the sake of the kingdom and of heaven. Let him who can accept this teaching do so. All right, let me break down this. For there are different reasons why men cannot marry. Some because they were born that way. Those are eunuchs. They born without either a pole or a hole, right? So they cannot merge with anybody, right? Mhm. Others because men made them that way. If you castrate them, right? Or you do a surgery on them, men made them that way. And the third, one who abstain from sex. Give me a few minutes. I'll be back. Well, well, well. Thank heavens. Yes. My faithful servants, they are still here with me. I just went to do some duties in the bathroom. Yes. But at this point in time, it is now 4:46. Yes, we started this program at 2 o'clock. And, you know, the foundation of it, the reason for it was I watched a video that this vlogger, a very popular vlogger, were complaining about the levels of the high number of AIDS cases in Jamaica. And I am concerned too, but concerned because, not only because I were warning so long before, but I'm quite sure they did heard me saying these things from way back up to 2021. And I've been saying these things about um, batikakis, those people who are going having sex both ways, and what the detriment of it. They complain to TikTok, and TikTok ban my video, take down my video, right? And all of those things. While I was promoting the positive things, right? I was foresighting this time when I look at the figures of Jamaican 31,000, right? That's a lot. That is a lot, right? So it is scary. I know many men, many women now are pulling back. And to add more to it, the fertility rate has been low as well. And that's the only way it can go up. So, I mean, it reached a stage, where you just hear me just say, you're not to have sex unless it's allowed. Now, a lot of people are having sex and don't love the person. They are having sex for material exchange. Yeah. And they are proud with it. So when they saw me and hear me downtown, around town or uptown on the media and say, stop the selling of sex. Uno cuss me, you know. Uno see one cuss me. Uno class me. Because uno never know see me I see this a come. And me I tell you no, long time. And when someone proudly asks me, so what will we do? What will we do? Eh? Food that we eat. Right? Right? Look back on uno stupid self now. Una worry if them have it. Them a worry when them are go dead. Right? So when I tell you no? When me I telling you say, don't put no price on your body. Right? Uno cost me, you know. Uno class me. Yeah. Uno tell me how my teeth dirty. Uno tell me how I want beard. Uno tell me how. Won't I tell on yourself now when uno see those figures? A who want beard? A who want beard? A who need to be cleansed? That's why a lot of uno come here and can't tap the screen, you know. When we just in there so and can't tap the screen. Because when I learn, but you know, hate me like a poison. Because if you they love me, you they support me. Because simple, you don't know the meaning of love. But you want to gain from me, but don't want to support me. Yeah? That is the same attitude you went into a relationship with. Right? You don't love the person, but you want the person money. Right? So, in order to get the person money, you have to lead him on. Right? You have to fake love. That you're having sex with someone that you hate like poison, but you love the money. Yes, it's the money you're loving, is not the person. Right? It's the money. Love doesn't need money. And I've been telling you this for the longest while now. You don't buy sex and you don't buy love. Right? No, neither of them are to be priced. This love and sex is a free will thing. The free, pure love from your heart should propel you to join with the individual, nothing else. Love. The person must love something about you. Yeah, people love me for my spirituality. my depth of knowledge, right? The way my guile and my style. Nothing wrong with that. Because it's the individual you love, right? Right? But when you're gonna love me for my car, my house, my job, not my ability, but what I use my ability to ascertain, you will just love the things I ascertained, but not loving me as an individual. And that's how we have so much fake love, so much domestic violence. Yes. So much broken marriage because you married the man or the woman only for their assets, their possession, what they possessed in life. Not you will get carried away because first thing a woman I go tell you say she can't love a man we don't have no money. The first thing when them are put in front is money, material status. That's where you started to love from. And from that, and from Odessa, you started the love from a wrong place. Now, true sex not having for love, you're having it for sexual exchange. Those people that goes both ways know what you want, which is money, know what you're craving for, right? And I speak earlier of the greedy dog lose their bone, right? And because of the greed for money, a lot already lost their life or about to lose their life because of the greed for money, right? So these men, whom I determine as batikakiers, going both ways, bringing that's the substance of the waste to the area, to that area of the female. And, you know, it constantly bringing to into being and spreading that disease. Many good lives have been crushed by it because of greed. Because not of need, some of them is need and some is just greed, lang eye, right? Wanted to just show off on you one another. You run the racket with your socket. Now you're looking at a casket. No, I'm not telling a long time. I'm telling about socket racket. That's what I was talking. Yeah, socket racket. You don't love the person, but you give him a part of your socket just momentarily. As you get the money in your hand, you forget him until that money done again. You come back with more and you run another racket with your socket. Putting in an application for a casket. Hmm. For lie, me I tell, ask Christ. If I lie, me sit down here so I tell now. Ask Christ. Ask God. If I lie, me I tell. Hmm. How many how many people want to do what God says to do and are afraid to do so? Be God said, be fruitful and multiply. Hmm? You know, say my life not get much likes. Cause truth not get likes. Truth like these no get much likes. Positive life like this no get much support, no get no gift. Eh? Because what? The people are fake. The people are fake. They don't support good things. And no, me I say that. And me see that. Cause see it in front of me there. Me see it in front of me, you know. And one thing, me now guess if the information or the live streaming is good. I know it is good. And me know when it I get support. And me know when it not get support. Hmm. So like how no support. It's 5 o'clock. We thank you. We thank you for your blessings. We thank you for your presence. We thank those that support. We thank those that take the time out to learn. And we pray that they may grasp it and pass it on to the next generation what they have learned here. I am Tychicus, the Revelator. Always love you, always care for you. And remember, run over to my YouTube page if you haven't already subscribed to my People's Progressive Science. Even 2 out of the 9 go over there, subscribe. If you want to support me, you hear me say something tonight, you can just support me by go over to my YouTube page and just subscribe over there for me. People's Progressive Science. YouTube, continue to TikTok, continue to share, like, uh, and comment. That one not do much over here. Facebook, same thing. Right on. I'm out.